Hey guys, how you doing? It's your boy M.K.S here. Just making part 2 of this video, and if you haven't checked out the first one already, please check it out. I really hope you enjoy it. One of the things I'm thinking of was, because I want to stick to the theme of empowering Asia for April, May, June and August, which I've talked about before. So apologies if you've already seen those videos where I've talked about that, but to remind myself or others, but also in case you didn't see those videos already. And possibly maybe next week or the week after, I also hope to talk about, like, possibly, obviously it's a difficult subject, but I know I've been meaning to cover it for quite a while, but talking about my own mental health problems, or possibly talking about a bit about myself as well, like being mixed race, part Asian, being Eurasian, European and Asian, and things like that. And the reason why I want to support Asia is because seeing the views of a lot of white supremacists or neo-Nazis or far right or whatever you want to call them, I use those terms interchangeably, like how they hate mixed race people or people of colour. So that is the reason why I want people of colour to come together and support each other, and I think that's really important. I think the more united we are, the more we can support each other when things go wrong, and either financially or another way support each other and encourage each other when we need the support, and things like that. But I know in Asia itself there's also a lot of racism and prejudice, which I've heard about as well. So I hope to cover that next week. As I talked about before, like my patterns about 13 being unlucky, so next week is the 13th, so I might cover some of the negative sides of Asia as well. So I do want to cover, as I was talking about before, both sides of the story, or the good, the bad and the ugly, but normally I like to save the best to last, so I'll try and finish on a positive if I can as well. So I hope that makes some sort of sense. The ugly, the bad and the good, in other words, if you know what I mean. But yeah, obviously when I'm ready, I also hope to talk about, like, some of my own mental health problems, like paranoia and anxiety and other things I have, like hoarding. I know I've covered them a little bit, but I'm hoping to cover them, like the hoarding thing, I'm hoping to cover on Thursday, all being well. Anywho, so back to my list. Again, please check out part 1 if you haven't done so, and please check out part 3 when it comes out, all being well. Point number 11, I hope to support Asian inventors and raise the profile of Asian inventions, talk about Asian inventions which will hopefully inspire more Asian people. I also hope to talk about autism awareness and special needs or learning disability, neurodiversity, whatever you want to call it, awareness. I use these terms interchangeably, so either of these terms, like special needs, learning disabilities, learning differences, or whichever term you prefer, just to mean the same thing, like people with the idea of neurodiversity is like different types of minds. So it's not, so like people with learning disabilities might not be the best academically or socially or whatever, but depending on how their specific learning disability affects them. So someone with autism might not be the best socially, but they might be really good at maths or science or things like that. But someone who's dyslexic might be better sociably, but might not be as good academically. Again, it will depend on the individual as well, because some people with dyslexia are really shy, but some are more outgoing. Some just can't read or write, but some have learned to read or write, but they might have other areas, like sometimes saying things that they don't mean to say or whatever. So it can be verbal, it can be on paper. So dyslexia meaning difficulty with language. I think it's from Greek. But anyway, so I hope to educate people, if you like, or inform people from across Asia and Asian backgrounds and families. And like, say, for instance, a dyslexic guy in an Asian classroom, if people think he's stupid or she's stupid or whatever, they can, if they see about famous dyslexic people like Richard Branson or many other dyslexic millionaires and even billionaires like Branson and people like that, then hopefully their perceptions will change. So changing perceptions and things like about neurodiversity, or whatever you want to call it. Anyway, moving on. 12, I hope to have motivation and encouraging stories for people from Asia, especially, and of Asian backgrounds around the world, and encourage them to network together, and possibly people from the diaspora supporting Asia and things like that. And also like to encourage mentors, as I talked about before, like Richard Branson, John Chambers, Charles Schwab, Craig McCall, people like that, all being well. Possibly to set up their own training schools in Asia for dyslexic people, so that they can, and I've talked before about that idea, a lot of these ideas are interchangeable with my ideas for supporting people in Africa as well. But they can possibly inspire, inspire and motivate people with dyslexia and other neurodiverse conditions. And again, I think it'd be great if people in Asia learned about the strengths, like autistic people can be really good at maths, from what I've heard, or tech, or science, or a lot of those areas. And so I think it'd be great if people from Asia and Africa and places like that learned about the strengths of those backgrounds as well, not just the negatives, but also understanding that a dyslexic person might, or an autistic person might, struggle in certain areas. Anyway, I hope that made sense. As ever, I'd love to hear what you think about all these ideas. 13, again, I still hope to cover some of the negative sides of Asia, some of the racism or prejudice as well. So I don't just want to cover the positives. And possibly some of my dilemmas about supporting Asia, like in countries like Japan or China or Korea, apparently there's quite a lot of discrimination against mixed race people. I'm sure it's not, or even people with learning disabilities or whatnot, but I'm sure it's not everyone who's like that. But some of them seem really nice, but like any country you go to, I suppose. Excuse me, sorry. 14, I hope to look how Asians can work together to solve problems facing both Asia itself and the rest of the world, and how it can market those problems to help Asian economies. Like, for instance, a lot of countries might seek China's advice on how to tackle coronavirus or other problems like the coronavirus or other problems like that. Again, Asian and I know I've talked about this before, but Asian and African scientists can work together on solving such problems, perhaps. 15, I hope to just generally celebrate a lot of things about Asia, like the Asian movies, Asian success stories being the model minorities, and just general music and lots of things about Asia that's really positive, and also help young children in Asia, especially from orphanages or disadvantaged communities, again, especially children with learning disabilities, having learning disabilities myself, and being part Asian. I hope to support them to work on their aspirations and things like that. 16, again, hope to look at how Asia can advance, and maybe like what Asian countries can learn from Asian nations can learn from each other. I think how they can, by being more united as a continent, I think Asia can do a lot better than if it was divided, if you know what I mean. 17, I hope to celebrate, as I say, things about Asia, like Asian stories and legends, creepypastas, urban legends, or whatever you want to call them, and things like that. 18, again, hope to generally celebrate positive things about Asia and Asians around the world. Again, famous Asians, or what Asian inspires you the most, and things like that. 19, I'd love to hear what Asians think about mixed race people. I know there's quite a few videos like that already on YouTube, again, from like that Japanese man Utah and Asian boss and channels like that. So please check those channels out as well. I should get a commission off them, but I'm just kidding. But and 20, I'd love to hear what people think of Asia or Asians as well, around the world. Like, what are the stereotypes or the opinions of people from Asia, like they're good at maths, or if they're reserved, or things like that. Anyway, I think that covers this video. So as ever, I'd love to hear your opinion. I hope it wasn't too bad. So I know in my last video I asked the question, like, what do you think are the best ways to empower Asian nations? And I think I've just thought of a question. I couldn't think of one, but now I've just thought of one, which is, what do you think is the best way to empower the poorest people in Asia as well? How do you think you can help them to come out of poverty? Like, also, like children from orphanages. What's the best way to support such people, such children, all that especially? And also, how do you think Asia can support more human rights, animal rights, protecting animals, and disabled rights and things like that as well? Hope that makes sense. Peace and love.